19th. I won't be before you long. I promise I won't be long. I just came on to share some upcoming dates, keep you guys updated, and let you know what we have on the calendar. Before I get into that, I want to talk a little bit about you. You know I love Colombia. You know I love Cali, Colombia, and the Pacific Coast, and I'm very much into Afro tourism and Black culture in spaces that are Black culture where Black people are not the mainstream or the uh, mainstream culture, for lack of a better term. So here's a drink. I'm having this today. I want to pour a little bit of this. I didn't bring you on to get you drunk or anything, but I wanted to bring attention to this beverage right here. This is called Pipi Longo. It's made from viche. Viche is a an ancestral beverage from the Pacific coast of Colombia. It is an important part of Afro-Colombian culture. I'm going to give you a little bit of what I know about viche and its origins. Viche started out as an ancestral medicinal beverage. Now it's used as, just a social beverage, a social drink. For those of you who've been to Cali or the Pacific Coast, you've seen people, any type of celebration, they'll have a small cup smaller than this. And they like to share. So that you have a bottle of Viche, Curao, Pipilongo, Tomaseca, Arachon, and we'll get into the different types. But this is a popular celebratory or social beverage that Afro Colombians or Colombians, specifically along the Pacific coast and closer to the Pacific coast, because I would imagine different regions have different beverages. You know, like if you've been to Puerto Rico, you've got Pitoro. If you've been to the Dominican Republic, you've got Mamajuana. You've got different the bushroom in the Caribbean, different types of depending on the culture. Here we have viche. Now, viche is it's made from sugarcane. So because sugarcane was the big crop in Cali and the Pacific Coast, specifically Cali. Cali was known for sugarcane, so huge sugarcane producer. Um, for those of you who don't know, who aren't aware, Cali's the third largest city in Colombia and has the largest population of Black Colombians. Now, the largest concentration of Black Colombians is the Pacific Coast. Um, Collectively, that is where you find the largest concentration or the largest populations of Black people. So you may have small towns along the coast um, where you have like 100% or in the high 90s at least of Black people, Black Colombians. Now, you hear me say Black Colombians a lot because I like to make the distinction between Black and Afro. Um, when I say Black, I want you to know, I want to highlight that I'm talking specifically about Black people because Afro is a large term, it's a broad term, and it includes a large category of people. Like you can be Afro descendant, you can have an African ancestor, but not be Black. So when you hear me talk about Black people in Colombia, I'm talking about Black Colombians specifically. Okay, so back to this. This is made from sugarcane, and it starts off as a clear liquid viche puro. Pure viche is clear. But then you've got Pipi Longo. Pipi Longo I don't know if you can see it at the bottom. Let me kind of, I can't. It's in the bottom. It's in there. It's a pepper. It's a long pepper, and it gives this drink. It gives Vice a spicy, like a spicy bite. So along with the alcoholic taste or the effect of the alcohol, you get like a spice to it. So it adds heat to it. They have curao, which is they add different herbs in it because, like I said, its origins are in were medicinal. So different types of viche had different types of medicinal properties. You had curao, which was just simply like a cure for different things. And you've got like arechon, you've got tomaseca, and they had different things, different recipes for like things like fertility, different sicknesses, different ailments, and things like that. So my favorite is pipi longo. I like the spice. I like the heat on the back end. And I have at the Petronio Alvarez Festival, oh, San Vice, Sanviche, San Vice. Shout out to them. They make the strongest pipi longo I've ever had. So if you're going to the festival, look for their booth, San Vice. They come from, I want to say Timbiqui on the Pacific coast. They always come and bring their vice, their different vices to the festival, and we support their booth all the time. This right here is made by Nassim Gregory. You can see the brand there. You can look this up. Look, they have social media. They're on Instagram. He's actually he's aside from being a good friend, he's actually a musician. He's a great musician in Cali. But he also makes Vice. Almost everybody has a Vice brand, but this is his Vice brand, Nassim Gregory or Chonta. Chonta House or Chonta A. Um, yeah, you can find this brand on Instagram and you can reach out to him. And if you plan on going to Cali, I'll bring it back up again. If you plan on going to Cali, you can reach out to him and he'll make sure you get some. He'll do a presentation much better than me. He gives greater detail about the history. And one of the main reasons I brought this up is because Viche was just nationally, it became nationally recognized as an artisanal beverage created by Afro-Colombians. So I want to shout out to them. Congratulations for having this. And I think one of the requirements to being able to sell this legally in Colombia is you have to be Afro-Colombian. So shout out to them. That's a major accomplishment in Colombia. Oh, let me bring it up so you can, if you didn't see, here's the brand. I don't know how to pronounce the name of the brand, but just take a snapshot of it and you can find him on Instagram and just tell him Live Be Do sent you to him and he'll take good care of you. Now let's get into the dates, the upcoming dates. So May 1st through 30th, we've got our Live Like a Local relocation immersion experience in Cali, Colombia. So we've shout out to the people who booked that, and we'll be in Cali, Colombia for not only for the relocation immersion experience, but May is also Black History Month in Colombia. So there'll be plenty of Black history celebrations in the city of Cali, the city with the largest population of Black people in Colombia. So whether you signed up with us or not, if you're going to be in Cali, make sure you reach out to us, info@livebedo.net. Please, if you need to contact me or if you need to speak to me or anybody on the team, info@livebedo.net. Please do not DM, do not try to contact us through social media. we've been having issues with messages going to the spam folder, and every time I clean out the spam folder or go and search, I find messages from like last summer. So please, if you need to contact me specifically or anybody on our team in Cali, info at livebdo.net. Make sure you send that email. Okay, so we've covered the month of May, May 1st through 30th. July 30th through August 4th, we'll be in San Andres, Colombia for the Rizal Emancipation celebrations. If you don't know who the Rizals are the Afro Caribbean population of San Andres. San Andres is an island that belongs to Colombia. It's in the Caribbean, it's off the coast of Nicaragua. It is not it's not your typical Colombian culture. It's very Afro-Caribbean, very much like Jamaican, Belizean, your typical like Barbados, all of that Afro Caribbean culture. They have the similar culture where they speak English. They were initially colonized by the British, and now they're under half of it is under Colombian. It's a Colombian territory now. So now they also speak Spanish. So where their original language is English and Patois or Creole, because it's a Colombian territory, now they also speak Spanish, and we will have somebody on soon to give us some background on their culture and share their important festivals, their important dates, and things like that on this platform. So stay here because we'll update you. You know, every week we're going to come on and update you and let you know what we have coming up. So that's July 30th through August 4th. That's where we'll be in San Andres, Colombia. San Andres will be enjoying the beaches. We'll be enjoying the Rizal culture. Uh, the San Andres is part of an archipelago of islands. San Andres, Providence Island, and St. Helens, I want to say. Yeah. So, and like I said, it's black culture, it's black Caribbean culture, but because it's a Colombian territory, they also speak Spanish and you'll find Colombians there. But what I love about it is it's a very small island. It's a great alternative to Cartagena. A lot of people go to Cartagena, and Cartagena is a beautiful place, great place. Um, but if you've been to Cartagena and you want something a little more reserved, a little more laid back, San Andres is a great alternative. The beaches are right there. The hotels are right there near the beach. It's not a huge island, so all of the hotels are within walking distance from pristine beaches. Um, you can rent a golf cart and drive around to the other beaches and visit different neighborhoods. You can also rent a boat, rent a pontoon boat for the day and do a little island hopping because it's surrounded by different smaller islands called cays or keys. And my favorite is, I believe it's called Rose Cay or Cayo Aquario, Aquarium Cay. I love it because the water is crystal clear and you have like large fish. It's like a fish nursery. So you got large fish just swimming around you. And it's like, it's an island on a sandbar, pretty much. And then you've got Johnny Cay, of course, and you've got Heinz Cay or Heinz Key, depending on how you pronounce the word. I, I'm from the U.S., so it's spelled K. I say K, but sometimes around being around them, I um, I say the word key. Soaring stories. Hola. Hey, Soaring stories. I think I got an email from you, and I tried to respond, but the emails keep getting kicked back. So let me know. Reach out to me from a different email if, in fact, that is you. I don't want to call out your government, but I believe I'm getting your emails are getting kicked back. If you're just tuning in, yes, please comment, Leave a comment if you have any questions about any of our upcoming trips. Leave your comments. Please let us know where you're watching from and ask any questions. Like I said, I'm not going to be on long. So moving along to the next relocation immersion experience in August. August 1st through 30th is our 1 month relocation immersion experience. We've got a great, that one is about to sell out. If you're thinking about joining us in August, you need to sign up today, like today, because like I said, on these relocation immersion experiences, we max out at about 10 people. Uh, it's not a group trip. It's not made for large groups. So if that's something that you're kind of considering, you need to make a move on that. And as with all of our relocation immersion experiences, yes, it's up to 1 month, up to 30 days, I'll say. But you don't have to stay the entire 30 days if you don't have the time, or if you don't want to, if you don't have the capacity to stay for 30 days. Or if you do have the capacity to stay for 30 days or longer, this is a great opportunity for you to visit Cali, Colombia, and learn about relocation, learn about how to select neighborhoods. And what you learn here at our relocation immersion experiences applies all over the world. So we give you the tools to show you how to search, so show you how to make decisions, and what your decisions should be based on. Um, yes. So you will be, yes, for everybody that's coming in, we got a question about the airport transfers. I'll get into the ins and outs, the details. But to answer your question, yes, we do have airport transfers. Somebody will be at the airport to pick you up, and bring you back to the apartments in Cali. So yes. Um, so as I was saying, it's an opportunity for you to learn how to find neighborhoods, learn which questions to ask. Of course, we'll have immigration attorneys, healthcare professionals, health insurance providers, and things like that. If you have children, childcare, what else? You know, teach you how to navigate the communities. You'll be, of course, you'll be a part of our expat or foreigner community, so you'll have access to our group chats. You'll be with us. Have the opportunity to make friends with people who are already living in Cali, and people who live in Cali, who are foreigners and have lived in other countries. So, you get like it's a really great experience if you're not sure, for people who are not sure where they want to end up, or where they want to, your final destination, where you want to retire. This is just a trial run. It's a test drive. Test drive living abroad up to 30 days. And you may get there and decide, well, hey, listen, I want to extend. We can discuss that with our property manager, and extend your time for as long as you're able to. But like I said, you get information and every country has different laws. So you get visa laws, and learn about specific visas in Colombia. But the good thing about that is, with that information, that gives you kind of you know, uh, it kind of helps you to ask questions in other countries about their visa laws. It gives you, it kind of empowers you in your search. So that's what the 1 month relocation immersion experience is for. It is not to get you to choose Cali. We use Cali because Cali is a very livable city. It's very affordable for people from the U.S. or Europe, um, and it's not so touristy that you're constantly bombarded with people targeting you to sell you things. And it's very low key. So the gringo tax has not yet, we know it's coming, gentrification is coming, but the gringo tax has not yet taken over Cali to the point where because you're a foreigner, they want to upcharge you and things like that, like Medellin and Cartagena. And another thing about it is since it has such a large population of black people, and you've probably heard me say this before, but I'll keep saying it because new people are coming and watching the videos. Because there's such a large population of black people, we blend in. Nobody knows that you don't, nobody knows where you're from until you tell them. They just assume that you speak Spanish. And that's what I love about it. It's kind of easy to integrate and kind of blend in, make organic relationships. Whereas some of the people I know in other cities, like Medellin and Cartagena, which are great cities, a lot of their relationships are transactional. A lot of their relationships with local people. So their friends are tour guides or people who have services, so they charge for their time. Whereas in Cali, you can just make a friend and be invited to a dinner or just hang out, and it doesn't cost you anything. Um, so those are the benefits. Those are the main reasons I chose Cali, Colombia, instead of the other cities. Also, Cali is a quick flight from Miami or South Florida. It's just if you're on Copa Airlines, it's just hour and a half from Panama City. So if you're flying on Copa, all Copa Airlines layover in Panama City, Panama, and Cali, Colombia is just over an hour from Panama City by plane. So keep that in mind. Keep all of that in mind when you're doing your relocation search and you know or you almost sure that you want to leave the US, but you're just not sure for what length of time. Don't sell your house, don't sell all your belongings. Before you do all of that, join us in Cali, Colombia. All right, so August 1st through 30th, August 13th through 18th is the Petronio Alvarez Festival. So all of these dates that I'm giving you right now are separately. You can find them on our website, livebedo.com. August 13th through 18th is the Petronio Alvarez Festival. You can sign up for that trip. Um, that's an incredible festival. It's the largest black festival in Hispanic Latin America. And for those of you who are already on a 1 month experience, yes, you will be able to go to the festival. The festival itself is free, but the itinerary is not. So the itinerary for that festival is not included in the relocation immersion experience. There's separate pricing. You can book the entire package, or you can book whatever days you want to do. But the reason we do it is because the reason we have the itinerary during the Petronio Alvarez Festival is because uh, Afro-Colombian culture is very new to a lot of people, travelers from the United States. And yes, the festival is not your typical Latin American culture. It's more African. It's very African. So the tours that we host during the day they add context to what you experience at the festival, like things like the music, the food, the art, the fashion, all of those things. It adds context to it because it's not like going to Puerto Rico. It's not like going to the Dominican Republic. It's completely different. It's not even like Cartagena. So yes, the you have an opportunity. Visit the website, like I said, and all of the information is there. If you have any questions, info@livebedo.net. Once again, if you're just joining us, please leave a comment in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. All right, so our next dates are October 1st through 30th. We have another relocation immersion experience in Cali, Colombia. And with considering planning a masquerade. We did a masquerade about 3 years ago in Cali, and it was dope. It was amazing. We had an amazing turnout with both local people, the expat or foreigner community, and people who were traveling who just happened to be in Cali during that time. We had an amazing experience. So October 1st through 30th. We have not selected the dates for the masquerade yet in October, but like I said, if you keep coming on Sundays at 1 p.m., eventually we will have those dates, or just reach out to us by email, info@livebedo.net. And once we get those dates, we'll send them to you. All right, November 19th through 26th. First, we're going to Salvador, Bahia, Brazil. Now, first of all, Brazil celebrates its Black History Month during in November. November is Black History Month for Brazil, the entire country. Salvador, Bahia, Brazil, being the most African city in South America, um, those celebrations, that culture, it's incredible. We took a group last November. It was amazing. We had an amazing time. We learned a lot about the culture. We learned a lot about capoeira. We learned about the food. We learned about communities of enslaved people who were in Brazil, who repatriated to West Africa, and then they visit Brazil to find their ancestry. That was amazing. That was the first time I had learned about it. There's a name for it. I don't remember the name, but you can look into it. There's a population of people in West Africa who come back to Brazil to trace their ancestry. Because although we originated in Africa, some Africans repatriated to West Africa, and now they have to come back to Brazil to their ancestry, which is dope, amazing. So, and I love the Baianas. The Baianas are the ladies. Some of you have been already, but the ladies with the big dresses, I love it. I love it. Salvador Bahia is a dope city. It's an amazing city. Another thing, because all of the content, before I actually visited Salvador Bahia, all I saw was the historic district. Everybody's content was the drumming and the parties in the historic district. But I was shocked to see that they have amazing beaches. And in my opinion, better than Rio, because they don't have a lot of people flocking to their beaches. I'm sure like during the tourist seasons, during the high seasons, yes, there are probably like lots of people on the beaches, but when we were there weren't many people, so the water is still like pristine, plenty of space on the beaches. Um, and November is their summer or their spring, going into their summer. So the weather is nice, the weather is beautiful, a little bit hot. Um, it's a little bit hot. So yeah, if you want to get away, get a little bit of relaxation, rest and relaxation, and some Afro Latin culture in Brazil, that is a great trip for you, November 19th through the 26th. And we just added dates December 3rd through the 10th, one of my favorite countries, Morocco, Marrakech, Morocco. If you've never been to Marrakech, Marrakech is like it's the party capital of Morocco. It's an amazing city. It's a dope city. We love Marrakech. Marrakech is part of my mental health regimen. Just Morocco, period. I love Morocco. And a lot of people, you guys know that I do Afro tourism, and I go to places where Black people are not the dominant culture. And Morocco is one of those places. It's in North Africa, on the northwest coast of Africa. I love going down to the Sahara Desert and visiting the Ganawa people, Black people, our people, learning about the music, learning about the food, learning about the history and the culture in the desert. Amazing experience. It's an amazing experience. Um, I love it because it's one of those places where, like Latin America, the media does not really show a lot of black people or black presence. But there is a large black presence in Morocco in the desert, amazing culture. And they're always glad to see us because we rarely go to the desert when we go to Morocco. A lot of us, we do the imperial cities, which is like Casablanca, Rabat, Chefchaouen, the Blue City, Fez, and Marrakech. But little is known. We do a glamping experience in the desert. Now, that's not on this December 3rd through 10th experience, but it can be added for people who are interested in visiting the desert. I always go, so I'm going. Um, I'll probably go like at the end of the tour, I'll probably go down to the desert and spend a few days. We do a luxury glamping experience in the Sahara Desert in Merzouga on the dunes. Beautiful, nothing like it. So that's really it. That's really all I came on to share with you guys. I'm gonna toast my Pippi Longo. For those of you who missed it, I did a presentation about Afro-Colombian, an Afro-Colombian artisanal beverage, ancestral artisanal beverage made from sugarcane. Salud. And this one specifically, the beverage is called Viche, but this one is Pippi Longo. I like it because it got that heat. It hits you in your chest like ginger. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about what we have coming up. Please feel free to ask any questions. If you guys have any questions, come into the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know if you have any questions about medical tourism in Cali, about the culture of Cali. Um, Shout out to Alfreda McCrae tuning in from Panama. Come on over. You just an hour, maybe an hour and a half, if that. Have you been to Cali, Colombia? Let us know. Let us know in the comments if you've already been to Cali, Colombia, or if you've been to Colombia in general. Like, let us know where you've been in Colombia. Let us know if you're interested in any of the things that we're talking about. We'd like to know. On the website, we have interest forms. So if you go to livebedo.com, there's an interest form for the Live Like a Local Relocation Immersion Experience, and there's also an interest form for Afro tourism in Cali. Now, why am I into Afro tourism? I like to bring visibility to Black communities where, in places like Latin America, in places like Morocco, where there's Black culture, where we are not the dominant culture, um, because I think in my opinion, this is just my opinion, guys, we have more in common with them being I don't want to use the word minority, but not being the dominant culture, living alongside the dominant culture and being misrepresented, marginalized, and things like that. And a lot of times our culture and our history is left out of the conversation. So those are the places where I choose to host group trips, group experiences. I I was asked a question last week, and that's my answer. Like I love introducing, I love creating those cultural bridges because a lot of us in the United States, me personally being one of them, I remember, you know, a lot of our culture is centered around the church, the Black church, or around religion. And I remember getting into conversations with people, and we would ask them. We all had the questions like, "Who were we? What were we before before the United States? What did we lose between Africa and the United States? Because obviously we didn't come here as Baptists or Pentecostals, Apostolics. Um, we didn't come here in these denominational communities. We came here, we had something previous or prior to. So I find that Latin America has a lot of the stuff that a lot of the answers a lot of the questions. And so on our quest to uh, repatriate to Africa or to retrace our steps, Latin America should not be left out. It should not, because some of the stuff that Africa lost in colonization and that we lost through slavery can be found. We're all the same. We're literally all the same people. Like people say, all that separates us is a boat stop. But there's so much information, so much information. We have so many things in common. Um, my Colombian aunties, the way they cook, the way they, season the food. All Colombian food is not equal, just like all North American food is not equal. So, depending on what region you're in, consider Cali and the Pacific Coast as similar to the South and the United States. Soul food. Um, think of our cuisine as you travel south, as you travel into the Carolinas, as you travel across into Georgia, Alabama, into Mississippi, Louisiana. Think of the cuisine. Think of how the richness of the flavor and the seasonings. As you travel across Colombia into towards the Pacific, as it gets blacker, the food it could be the same exact dish. One of my favorite things to eat in Cali is called frijolada, which is a Colombian dish. It's a typical Colombian dish. Frijolada is frijoles, which are beans, rice, uh, some type of meat, chicharron, with and what else? Plantains, or in Colombia, in the of course in the Caribbean it's tostones, but in Pacific or in Colombia it's patacon. So it's just fried plantains. Um, Cali has that flavor, and as you go out, as you go into like everybody cooks. I love it. The music, the sound, the sound is incredible. It is it's amazing. I remember my first experience in the Petronio Alvarez Festival in 2018. So for those of you who don't know, I've been traveling to Colombia since 2018. I went to Cartagena first for spring break, and then I came to Cali for somebody told, everybody thinks Cartagena has the black culture. It's the mecca of black culture in Colombia, but it is not. They have San Basilio de Palenque, which is the first free town in the Americas. Yes, and that is a very important landmark near Cartagena. But there are palenques across the country. There are small towns that are 100% or at least 90% and upwards. Black people, like all black people, the schools, the businesses, the land, the entire community, the government, like the local government, is all black people. The police force, an all black police force. I remember going to Puerto Tejada, right outside of Cali, and we did a little Afro tourism experience, and the entire black police force came out to welcome us. And they let us know if there's anything we needed, if we had any apprehension of traveling in that region, any concerns about security, that they would support us. So you just don't get that. You don't get that kind of love. So anyway, I went to the Petronio Alvarez Festival in 2018, right? Mind you, I've been black all my life. I'm from the Bronx. Um, I've been to Freaknik, um, and I'm just, that was the most until that point. That was the most black people I had ever seen in one spot. Freaknik. I was in Freaknik in '95, and 97, 1995 and 1997. I went down there. It was a great experience in Atlanta. Lots of black people. Now, when I went to Cali, Colombia for the Petronio Alvarez Festival in 2018, that was the most black people I had seen in one spot in my entire life. And this is Latin America. This is Colombia. This is not Georgia. This is not Mississippi. This is not the Carolinas. This is Colombia. So of course that blew my mind. And they were wearing dashikis, and they weren't the ambiguous black. Like sometimes when you start getting into the Afro Latin culture, you see a lot of racially ambiguous people with the long curly hair and things like that. No, this was not that. This was black. This was my complexion. This was the entire spectrum of blackness. My complexion, darker, lighter. So it was an amazing experience. Black art, black art with black people. So yeah, I was blown away. I was blown away by that experience in Cali, Colombia in 2018, and I'll never stop talking about it. And I realized in that moment that they didn't have infrastructure for tourism. And so that just became like one of my missions, like bring visibility to the culture in that region as much as possible. So I went back in 2020, January and February 2020. I took two trips to Cali, Colombia to try to create an itinerary, organize an itinerary for groups that I had planned on inviting to the festival that year. And obviously, for obvious reasons, we couldn't have the trip because of COVID. COVID was happening. I was there in February. As I was leaving Colombia that February, that's when I started noticing people in the airports wearing masks and didn't, that's when COVID like really started, the first signs of COVID like really started showing up. So it became like, it's something that chose me, honestly, because travel business was not in my cards. I am a home improvement contractor. I enjoy what I do. Um, but that was just something that kind of chose me. And the more I learned about the community, the more I was exposed to other events, other black communities in the region, the Pacific Coast region of Colombia. Um, so you know, it's not for everybody. Some people travel for vacation. Some people travel to party, enjoy themselves, and I'm not knocking anything, but this appeals to for the people who want to learn about black culture, the people who want to experience blackness in a different context. This is great. This is awesome. We've even had, and it's family friendly. We've even had, and we did the Petroni, we had a large group in 2023, I want to say. And there was a young mother, she brought her young daughter on a trip who's homeschooled, and she got credit for some of the tours that we hosted in Cali, Colombia. So, for that, I'm proud and I'm grateful for, this, this path that I'm on, this path for however long I'm on it. I'm grateful for this experience and this opportunity to create this connection. It's not a discovery. I didn't discover this culture. All I do is my only assignment is to bring visibility and to make the connections. The people are there. They existed before I arrived. I am not Christopher Columbusing their community. I'm not Christopher Columbusing their culture. I'm just bringing people to the experience. And then I was reluctant about doing the relocation immersion experience because I was not really into anything but Afro-tourism. That was my focus. That was my objective. That was the thing that I enjoyed doing the most. But how I got into the relocation immersion was I actually lived in Cali, Colombia. And the community became my community. The black community became my community. I had resources as far as like lawyers, I knew medical professionals. I knew, you know, uh, I met property managers. So I met a lot of people, restaurant owners and whatnot, the community leaders. I had been invited to, you know, to speak on certain platforms and things like that. Not because I was anybody important, but just because of what I was doing was interesting to them, and they just wanted, they wanted to know more about why I was inviting people from the United States to Cali, and what I thought about the culture and things like that. But anyway, I started noticing that people in their relocation, lots of people come to Cali and they visit, and then they decide they want to stay, and uh, you know, but they hadn't, a lot of people are, long story short, a lot of people are traveling and trying to relocate without a plan. And being somebody who lived there, I figured, well, I can offer this, you know, at least this at a minimum, because I think this is important in your relocation, your relocation journey anywhere in the world, anywhere in the world, whether you're going to Africa, Asia, Europe, anywhere you're going, South America, any country you're going, anywhere you're going, leaving the United States, I'm seeing more and more people just leaving, but not having the proper information, not choosing places based on, they spent a weekend at a place and saying, okay, I enjoyed my weekend vacation there. Now I want to live there, without doing the proper research. And we always say, do the research, do the research, do the research. But then there's the question, what is the research? Like, where do I start? So that's what prompted my me getting into the relocation immersion. So shout out to Terry. I see you tuning in from Jalisco, Mexico. Terry is going to be with us in a few weeks in Cali, Colombia. She's staying for a month. Um, so yeah, I decided these are the things that you need to know and understand. Uh, and this applies literally anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. You can use this information anywhere in the world. The laws might be different, but at least you have a foundation. You have this experience in Cali that gave you enough information to at least know what to ask and know what to look for. And you're in a community. You're not alone in the community, because there are expats in Cali. We do have a nice expat community, or foreign immigrant community, I like to say, um, as well as people who travel to Cali. Cali is the salsa capital of the world, so lots of people come for salsa. Lots of people from the United States. Um, I want to call it the medical tourism capital of the world as well, but it may or may not be. But a lot of black people from the United States travel to Cali, Colombia for medical tourism, for dental, for cosmetic surgery, for even people, like Caribbean islands. A lot of the people from the Caribbean the hotels are filled with people from the Caribbean who are in Cali, Colombia, getting medical work done, medical procedures, surgeries, and things like that. Not just cosmetic, but they're getting, like, just general health. Where their countries are limited, Cali has great medical services. So uh, I found a lot of people, even in that, I found a lot of people there for medical tourism who didn't have information about how to navigate the city. So this became more of um, it became important. Like, you walking through the mall, and I see somebody who just looks lost, and I'm saying, like, I say, hey, because in Cali, one of the things you'll learn about Cali, Colombia, is everybody's very generous, very very helpful, but not a lot of English is spoken. So you can kind of tell when you see a person who's lost or looks lost. So we've met plenty of people who we've helped, we've brought into the community. Hey, come hang out with us at this restaurant, Or Friday nights, we have salsa in La Calle, which is the big street party. Every Friday night, everybody dancing in the streets around the boulevard, different restaurants and bars playing salsa music. If you've been to Puerto Rico, La Placita, this is La Placita on steroids. This is La Placita times 4 or 5. Um, so, just it became a mission. Like it's something we normally did. It was just an extension of what I was already doing. People would land in Cali without a plan, and we just helped them out. And so I decided to be proactive and create this itinerary for people who, don't know where to start. Cali may not have even been on your list, but I think it's a great start because there's a black community here. I've seen, I'm in a lot of different expat groups, black expat groups, and I see people who move to Thailand and move to all of these different countries. I have a friend who says chasing cheap, looking for that inexpensive relocation, and then you get somewhere and realize you don't fit in. You don't fit in, and although you may have spent a week or two in this country previously, or maybe you've never been there, and you see other black people thriving or appear to be thriving, you have not been able to make a connection. I see people with children who are just out there and no connection, just completely disconnected from society. And what might have been seemed like a great idea for a 2 week getaway may not be the solution for relocation, or at least a little more informed. If you had a little more information, you could have found your communities, or located your communities prior to arriving. So this is just a complete like solutions based idea. you know I'm just a man with ideas. So based on my experience in Cali, I feel like this would work for a lot of people. And also, being in Cali gives you the opportunity to check out other cities. You can go to Medellin, you can go to Bogota, you can go to Cartagena. You can vacation. You don't have to stay in Cali the whole time. Our relocation itinerary is really just the first week to week and a half, where you're doing the neighborhood tours, you're meeting the health professionals and things like that. We're doing the relocation things in the first week to week and a half, and then you have the rest of the month to kind of get acclimated to living, to see how you move at your own pace. You see how you like it, not based on me holding your hand or me being your tour leader, because that's not what this is. This is not a group trip. This is not a fancy luxury group trip. I am not with you 24/7. I'm not with you 100% of the time. Now, you do have access to the team, but you are literally living at your own pace. You can make friends in the expat community. You can make friends with each other. You can make friends in the local community. Um, but this is for you. This is for you to test drive and see if it works for you. Because if you make the decision wherever you decide to relocate, you won't have a tour guide. You won't have there won't be a concierge. Um, Everything will be depending on you and what you what your needs are and your particular style and your particular culture. So we give you that opportunity to live at your own pace, create your own community, make your own friends, your own, go to the gym, find you yoga, whatever your hobbies are, find your interest in the city, or just travel. If you want to just explore the country, once you arrive in Colombia, it's very inexpensive to travel around the country. You can book a flight to a different city. Um, Wide range of pricing options for accommodations across the country, or you can just rent an Airbnb, um, or you can split your time. Hey, I want to spend a week in Cali, the first week in Cali, the second week in Medellin, the third week in Bogota, and the fourth week in Cartagena. You know, you can split your time up that way. It's all up to you. But you know, you have us to assist you with any of those decisions. Um, I see you guys. Let me look at the chat. I'm just looking at the chat. So, yeah, shout out to Stephanie Perry. Stephanie, when we came and we were hosting our first group in February, Stephanie called me to do that live with her, and it helped a lot of people. It helped a lot of people. Because first of all, I do not promote or recommend that you sell everything and leave the country. I do not. Whether you decide to or not is up to you. I present you with the option. These are the options. Because that's not my choice. I live in Cali, but I don't live in Cali full time. You know, Cali is definitely my top option for retirement and for living because I've created a community out there. You know, the community has embraced me, and there's lots of love, and I connect with Black people or the Black Colombians. Um, but I have not decided to sell my house and just live in Cali full time. And if that, I do not recommend that you rush and make those decisions. I recommend that you try it out and you decide. You don't have to. You can do a sabbatical. You can do 6 months here, 6 months there. You can do 1 month here, a year. You know, you can split it up between several countries. Because Terry, you know, they're in Mexico, and you've got people in Panama. You've got people. We even have people in our community who are retired who spend a few months in Cali, a few months in Panama, a few months in Portugal. You know, so you have options. You have options. I do not recommend that you just give up everything and move. I know sometimes with the pressure and U.S. culture, living in this society in the United States, you feel overwhelmed and you feel like, I just got to get away. Get away. Go and live for a month. Try different cities, try different countries. Um, but I do not recommend selling everything and just leaving the country. I don't think that's the best idea. I don't think that's a solution, especially if you haven't lived there, if you haven't spent time outside of the United States. One of the trends that I see are people who've sold everything and moved to Ghana, and then get to Ghana and realize this is not what I thought it was. And I'm just using Ghana as an example. And then they end up going back to the United States or going to a different country. But one of the things that one of the things that I have to caution you on is selling everything and taking every penny you have and going to a country and end up spending all your money and then realizing this is just not, this is not working out. I always suggest, do the test drive. Do the test drive. Whether you do it with us or you do it on your own, I recommend at least contacting or getting, mingling with a black expat community. Black expats are all over the world. Black immigrants, expats, immigrants, black people who have left the United States and to live in different countries for various reasons. You've got military, you got people who are, a part of their jobs, people who repatriated with their families from their countries of origin, people who are retired. There's a spectrum of reasons why people choose different countries, and people are just out there. People may have studied at some country and then decided after so many years they want to live there. So there are black communities, black us from the United States. We are all over the world, and I suggest you go into Facebook and find black expats in whatever country is on your list, whatever country. Trust me, black in Dubai, black in Saudi Arabia, black in Kuwait. But we are everywhere. When I tell you we are everywhere, we are everywhere. So lots of information on, even if you're seeking employment. One of the hot spots, Dubai was a hot spot for a minute. I know lots of people who moved out there to teach English. China was another one. Korea, South Korea. Even in Cali, we have educators. We had Mark on a couple of weeks ago. We've got people from the U.S. who work in education in Colombia. So, there are plenty of opportunities. Um, but like I said, don't rush. Don't make decisions under, you know, don't make those big decisions just right away, like sell everything. Don't make decisions like that. Um, have a strategy. Use the strategy. Go out and see what it's like. See what it's like for you. Find yourself in those communities and see if you can actually, if it works for you, if you fit, if it's a good fit for you. Don't, I spent a month in Portugal. I love Portugal. I love Portugal. Could I live in Portugal? No. Great place to visit. Long, slow travel going from city to city. But I am not a European guy. I'm not into European culture. I'm not into European food. I couldn't do Portugal just off the food. I spent a month in Portugal and only ate at Brazilian and African restaurants. I could not eat Portuguese food. Um, and to me, that's important. And so I was in, I forget the names of the neighborhoods in Lisbon, but I was there. I was with the Senegalese people like every day. Every single day I was in a Senegalese restaurant eating, having lunch, and just sitting back. They would have sports on. I'd be sitting down, don't speak a word of I believe it's Wolof, what they were speaking. They were speaking a mix of Wolof and some Portuguese, depending on whether it was a Portuguese client or, you know, Senegalese people, but it was a community. So I was just sitting, just sitting back, relaxing, because Senegalese food is delicious, and it saved my life in Portugal. Portugal is a beautiful country now. I took the train, I took the high speed rail from Lisbon to Porto. I was by myself. Porto is a romantic city, so be careful who you take out there because you may make a permanent decision with a temporary person. That's my only advice, because I could have easily proposed to somebody out there. I'm joking, but I'm serious. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have. We're gonna bring on some medical professionals in the future. I promise next week we're gonna have a guest. We'll know who the guest is by Wednesday. So check us out on Instagram, Live Be Do. Check us out on TikTok, Live Be Do. If you're interested in traveling with us to any of the countries, any of the locations, I've given you the dates. Go to the website, livebedo.com. Remember, info@livebedo.net. Do not DM me, please. Like I said, I've been going into my DMs and I've been finding messages from, it's like every time I go in there, I find a message from last year or 2 years ago. So, some messages get diverted to spam and things like that. So, yeah. So, yeah, I see you. I'm glad that Colombia is high on your list. I'm glad that, I was able to help you guys. Mexico is dope. I've been to Mexico. I have friends who lived in Playa del Carmen. Mexico is a dope city. I mean, a dope country. I've had. I remember during COVID traveling to Playa del Carmen, and Playa del Carmen was like the flights were like Atlanta. It was like you would have thought you were going to Atlanta for all the black people that were on the flights. And I loved seeing black people frolic in Playa del Carmen. I love seeing black people jogging, black people on roller skates, and black people on bikes riding through Playa del Carmen. That warmed my heart. Um, but Colombia has, it's like I said, it's not. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to make a permanent decision. You don't have to marry Colombia. But I feel like every black person in the United States who's looking to relocate or looking to make their way back to Africa, I just believe you should at least come through Colombia and check out the culture and give it a second look. Like I said, it's a just over 3 hour flight. Cali is just a 3 hour and some change flight from Miami or Miami Fort Lauderdale, under 4 hours directly between those. So wherever you're flying from in the United States, wherever you're connecting from, if you're on Copa, it's going to bring you to Panama City. You're going to connect there and catch that 1 hour flight or 1 hour and some change flight from Panama City to Cali. Um, yeah, I just believe that we should we should check out the black community um, in Colombia and Brazil. Brazil, actually, South America, period, as a whole. Like, there's lots of black communities, black culture here in South America. And if you're interested in joining us in Brazil or joining us in Morocco, we are going to do Salvador, Bahia, Brazil, March 1st through 30th, 2027. If you're interested in joining us on that, let us know. We are going to host a 1 month relocation immersion experience there, and you'll get to test drive living in Brazil. We're also looking at Portugal, Lisbon, and Marrakech, Morocco for 2027. So we're just watching the interest forums to see who's interested, and we're going to base our trips on you guys, on your interest and your availability. But these are cities that where I have relationships. I'm not global. I'm not, this is not going to be a global thing. This is not going to be a thing where we're in Thailand or we're in Bali or places like that. No, this is going to be in places where I feel comfortable hosting people for 30 days or for 1 month. So once again, tune in next Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. I th- we're gonna we're gonna have a guest. I'll let you know by Wednesday. I'm not gonna say anything. We've got a couple of people who want to come on. I want to bring medical tourism on because I want you guys to know about medical tourism. Um, we're going to talk about dating abroad. We're going to talk about the different cities, what's happening. We're going to talk to people who live in these cities. We're going to have some guests who live in these cities across the world. Um, Shout out to James Motley, my guy. That's my brother, Bronx, New York. We grew up in the Bronx together. That's my guy. Shout out for, thanks for coming through. He's come to Cali. He came to Cali twice, y'all. He came to Cali. He came to the Petronio Alvarez Festival in 2024. And he was with us in February in Cali with the Live Like a Local relocation immersion experience. So, yeah, I'm excited to host you. You please send me an email so I know we can communicate and I can get you in the group chats. Okay, I just see it. I see it. I see it. It just came through, Tony. So once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Um, Govern yourselves accordingly. Those are the church announcements for today. Sunday, April 19th, 2006. Go in peace, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we shall see you again next Sunday. If you have any questions, remember info@livebedo.net.